Hi guys, welcome to Mike's Guitar Workshop. Today we have, I was almost going to say on auction, but no, we don't have on auction. We have up for review the PRS SE Hollowbody II. Kindly on loan once again from Marshall Music in Woodmead. So thanks for that, guys. So yeah, let's get into the nitty-gritty of what this guitar is all about. The standard Hollowbody is built from a 5-ply mahogany, whereas the version 2 has the same 5-ply mahogany but on the sides, but adds a 5-ply maple on the top and back. The 5815S pickups are the Indonesian versions of the USA 5815 humbuckers and were wound specifically for this guitar. And the wrap over stoptail bridge is exactly the same model as used by PRS on various guitars throughout its ranges. This is not a Gibson 335 alternative because that still has a center block. And unlike that guitar, this guitar is completely hollow inside. It has a block only for the bridge and it's got a piece of wood underneath the pickups to support the pickups. But that piece of wood doesn't touch the back at all. It's completely hollow. The neck is mahogany and a wide fat profile. Scale length is 25 inches. Bone nut. It's got the pearloid bird inlay, so it's not mother of pearl, it's a synthetic pearl, but still looks very nice. Fingerboard radius is 10 inch and it has 22 medium frets. And I think that about covers the specs. I don't want to bore you too much. Let's get into some sounds. There's no push-pull or anything on these. It's just a volume and tone and a 3-way switch down here. So I'm just running through my Ampero as usual. And these are basically just my gigging sounds. And I'm just plugging the guitar straight in. And it's going straight to the computer. So what you hear is exactly what I hear. Let's start off with some clean tones. Middle position. Bridge. Let's add a bit of dirt. Middle position. Bridge position. Let's add some overdrive. Lots of sustain there for you. You can definitely hear the hollowness of the guitar coming through if I compare it to the last video that I did of the semi-hollow SE. Because these are the same patches, and you can just go back to that one and you'll see what that one sounds like. So let's talk about the build quality. On this particular version, they because the guitar is slightly larger than normal electrics of the SE range or of the custom ranges, for instance. Same shape, but just a little bit larger. They also use the headstock based on their acoustic versions. So you'll find that it's a little bit larger than the other models. And that just gives a nice balance between the headstock, the neck, and the body. has a bone nut, and although it is a bone nut and it's very nice, I found that it was on the finish it's a little bit rough, could have been polished a little bit better, but the fit and finish is very smooth. The edges over here blends in nicely with the headstock. Very nicely bound headstock, which I really love. I love a bound headstock. Also a bound neck, obviously, and a single binding front and rear, as well as the F-holes. On this version 2, the F-holes have been bound. Very nice job. The quality of the finish is typical PRS. Immaculate, can't fault it at all. And these are built by Cortec for PRS. And they are built in the, so I've been told, in the acoustic section of the Cortec factory, because obviously different techniques are required to put this together. It's not a slab of wood that's been CNC'd out. It's actually all separate pieces of wood. And the top and back are 5-ply maple, and the side is mahogany veneer. The neck, I can't tell if it's a 1, 2 or 3 piece like in the previous model, because it's painted black. Not that it matters as far as I'm concerned. It's very nicely put together. Tuners are like butter as the previous model, and it stays in tune. There's obviously no tremolo or anything like that. And this wraparound bridge is quite interesting. It's just pivoting on 2 posts over here. So there's a lot of tension in that direction. And for that reason, there's a solid block that's actually visible through the F-hole. It's an oval, it's a square block that's cut around on each side, and that runs from the top right through to the bottom, sandwiched in between, so that's a nice and sturdy base for these posts. And this is the exact same bridge. It's not a cheaper version, it's the exact same bridge that's used in the USA models. Yeah. One thing I noticed, because I did need to restring this guitar up, and one thing I was a little bit nervous about, well, not nervous for me because I don't own the guitar, but just a bit curious about, let's put it that way, is whether this, when restrung, will have that nice twang that you get from new strings. And I'm glad to say it does have that twang. Some of the previous models that were made in either Indonesia or Korea, I can't remember which, when you restrung them with new strings, they would still sound dull. And I'm not sure what that was about, because I had 6 of them before, 3 in Korea, 3 in Indonesia. And I can't remember which, but one of the factories, it doesn't matter what I did, new strings, different brands, I just could not get it to twang like this does. So I'm very glad to say that you will get that nice new string feel. Sound. One thing I noticed when I restrung the guitars was what I was getting to the point, is that the bridge has got little square cut notches where the string ferrules need to go into. So if you're not careful, they can misalign and they can actually stick out, and you might be on a gig tuning, and then as you're playing violently, doing your Jimi Hendrix solos, that ferrule might pop into the bridge and detune the guitar. So just make sure that those sit in flush. Obviously the bridge is fully adjustable, intonation. Not so much the string height is not adjustable. And then the whole bridge you can move forward and back by means of little set screws that are inside here. So if you find for some reason that you're running out of intonation space, you could move the bridge forward and back a little bit. So that's handy. Exactly why they went with this wraparound bridge, I think it comes from Paul's guitar. I'll just check up on that. But why they went for this as opposed to a tailstop and a normal bridge, I'm not really sure. I don't know what it brings to the party. Maybe it's for the look, for the nice clean aesthetic that you get over here. Because I'm just wondering, over time, will these bridge posts move? But I'm not sure. I'm sure they've engineered this properly, and they know what they're doing, because it does have inserts in the, before these screws go in, it's got inserts in the wood, so I'm sure that's all 100%. I also noticed that the pickups, it doesn't, the guitar doesn't have a center block all the way to the back. It's actually literally completely hollow all the way here. There's a gap of about yay much between the inside of this and a block of wood that has been glued to the top of this, only here, to accommodate the pickups. The pickups are the 5815S, so S stands for SE. It's a Korean version of the USA version of the same name. And they've got a nice warm, just excuse the slight noise, this it's not the guitar, it's some lighting that I'm using, and it's causing that issue. You can hear the hollowness of the guitar, that I did notice. I've only been playing the guitar for a few days. And if you've come to this channel to see some wizardry on the guitar playing, you're at the wrong place, because I can't do all of that. All I can tell you is I can tell you about the guitar and how I feel about it. It has I see it's got a veneer over the top of the headstock here, which is very pretty. The fact that it's a little bit larger, after playing it for an hour, I didn't even notice. It's not like I thought, oh, this thing is huge and big, it's like a big acoustic guitar. No, that's not the case. It just feels like an electric guitar. There's nothing different. It's just that it is a bit larger. So just be aware of that. The neck is the wide fat neck. Yes, I can feel that it is wide and fat, but it's not huge. It's not like it's a big, thick neck. When you palm the guitar, it just fills the palm of your guitar.
Fills the palm of your guitar.
In fact, when I play my other guitar hanging over there, that neck feels ridiculously thin in comparison, although after 20 minutes you just get used to it. But when you grab this, you just feel like you're grabbing a nice solid piece of wood here, you know. It really inspires confidence. It just feels very comfortable. It feels natural, comfortable. There's nothing unusual about it. It's just a little thicker. You pick it up, it just feels normal. There's nothing unusual about it. The setup on this guitar was, once again, I'm absolutely gobsmacked at what's coming out of the PRS stable these days. I did restring it, and I was very careful not to turn these screws, because as you take the strings off, this whole bridge comes off. So I made sure not to adjust it, and I just put it all back together the way it was. And literally, if I just pull my cards out here, let's just have a quick look. I know this might not be very conventional, but but I use just some business cards, because I know exactly how thick they are. So 3 cards is 1.2 millimeters, and 4 cards is 1.6. So let's have a look to see where it's sitting. So I'm going to try 3. And it's exactly 1.2 millimeters, which is very low. Both sides, 1.2 top and bottom. Relief, let's have a quick look. Relief could be a smidgen lower, but it's very acceptable. And let's see how the nut is cut. I would reckon this is the absolute limit of how low this can go. In fact, I wouldn't even cut my nut this low. So that just shows you. I wouldn't do a thing to this guitar as far as the setup is concerned. It is just ready to rock out of the case in this case. Not the bag, because this comes in a beautiful case, if I haven't mentioned that before. So this guitar in the SE range, barring the piezo version, which is one up from this, is the most expensive SE that there is. In fact, it is into the USA version prices of certain models. So for the money of this, you could buy a USA PRS, but not a hollow or semi-hollow, a lower end entry-level USA version. So that's where this is sitting. It's the most expensive of the SEs, barring the piezo, which is even more expensive. So for that money, you are absolute, without a doubt, getting a lifetime guitar. The finish is absolutely flawless. I can't find a single blemish, a run, scratch, absolutely nothing to report as far as that is concerned on this guitar. Fret ends, nothing to talk about over there. Very nicely polished. No fretting out anywhere. I didn't check the frets with a fret rocker, but the way it's set up, I wouldn't touch it for me personally. This is 1.2 millimeters is what I go for. You can still get your finger underneath the strings for bending. So any lower than that, and I don't see the point really. Yeah, nice ebony board, just by the way. So ebony board, maple top and rear. Damn, this guitar's nice. I'm just looking at the fit and finish of this, and I got my glasses on, and I cannot see for the life of me any inconsistency, any flaw. Perfect binding. You can easily gig with this as a pro. That doesn't mean you have to spend triple the price or more for a core version. As a playing experience, and that for me is mostly what guitars are about. What do they play like? You know, what does it sound like? Can I use it? Do I need to spend that kind of money to get a decent guitar? And the answer is no. These guitars, and I'm really not a PRS fanboy, they just happen to have come in that order from Marshall Music at the moment. So it's not like I'm a fan. I like them, but I'll play anything that suits me. I've got a Silver Sky sticking in the corner there. I don't know if you can see it. That's my guitar. I'll play a Tanglewood Les Paul. Not because it was cheap, because to me it just sounded great, you know. So the Silver Sky, that's on a different level, of course. But anyway, getting back to this. Yes, it's a lot of money for an SE, It's at the top of the SE range, so not many might be comfortable to invest such an amount in a guitar like this. So I reckon this is not for a student per se. It's more for the professional who wants to delve into the hollow body guitar world and not spend the kind of money that the USA versions are asking, and still have a very, very, very capable guitar. This is definitely a lifetime guitar. It's not something that you would buy and 3 years down the line it falls apart. That's not going to happen, you know. So if this is the kind of thing that interests you, then don't be nervous. Go play one in a shop. And happy days. Guys, if this interests you and if you like these kind of videos, I appreciate your subscription and your click on the like. It really helps the channel out. And keep on rocking. We'll see you next time.